Rumble in the Bronx is a very entertaining film, I have to say so myself. The action scenes are awesome. The story and acting, while a little weak, I still consider this a guilty pleasure. It's not the best kung fu film you ever see, but this was my introduction to Jackie Chan, so I grew up watching this film. Directed by Stanley Tong, who's directed kung fu films before, such as Once Upon a Cop and Police Story 3 Super Cop. This Hong Kong film takes place in New York City, obviously the Bronx, and Jackie Chan plays Ken, a Hong Kong cop who comes to New York City to attend his uncle's wedding. But while his uncle and his wife are away on honeymoon, trouble arises as he has to deal with a gang of biker punks. And he has to fight them to protect not only a storefront, but to teach these guys a lesson. I have to say the acting in this film, like I mentioned before, is pretty weak. It's not great, but Jackie Chan's charm, the stunts, and the action scenes more makes up for it, especially this fight scene here.
I'm wrong. The chocolate.
You! You shut up!
Yeah, with fight scenes like that, is regarded as a great kung fu movie. Now, plot-wise, the film ain't all that great, and the actors in this film ain't really legendary either in terms of their performances. But what I really respect is that this film right here brought Jackie Chan to North America mainstream. Yeah, he was in films as far back as the 1960s, being all those kung fu movies he was in. But this was the very first film he was in that people know who Jackie Chan was. Same way how people knew about Bruce Lee. And obviously the difference is Jackie Chan branched out into American culture. And this is one of those films. Now honestly, if they don't make the plot a little bit better and the acting like superb, then it's probably be considered one of the greatest kung fu movies of all time. But this is not a bad movie by no regards at all. It's a film I highly enjoy even to this day. And if you've never seen this film, check it out because it's certainly worth your time. What makes this film very interesting though, that Jackie Chan did all his stunts. And he actually broke his right ankle jumping on a hovercraft that happens later on in the film. Did they stop production? Did they wait till his ankle healed up? No. Jackie Chan still continued to do stunts. But, obviously his ankle's in a cast. And not only that, but the guy freaking jumps from a building parking lot to a fire escape. Talk about some insane shit. You really gotta respect Jackie Chan's craft when he's willing to put his body on the line just to entertain us fans. And not just that though, but this film's hilarious, a lot of funny moments throughout it. And the fight scenes, like I mentioned beforehand, are definitely awesome. And that's probably why I would recommend this film, especially if you love kung fu movies. Jackie Chan's a kung fu master. He knows martial arts. And it shows in this film all throughout it. Not a great film, but this film ain't horrible either. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. A pretty decent kung fu movie. In all honesty, if it wasn't for the kung fu action, this movie would be pretty boring. I mean, the story is not the strongest. I would like to see where Ken comes from, like his backstory. And, more character development. We don't really get that in this film. This is mainly like a kung fu action-esque film with a little story thrown in. Weak story, but still. Now, I would recommend this film, especially if you love kung fu movies. You'll be entertained. You'll enjoy this film, despite how old it is. And this is a film that I still enjoy to this day. And that's my review of Rumble in the Bronx. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this film. Do you love it, hate it, or in the middle? What is your favorite kung fu movie you ever seen? Let me know in the comments. Alright, this is Slum Guy 172 saying, peace out.